And welcome back, everybody. James Bouligny here with Ryan Chadwick and our special guest, Coach Craig Slaughter. How are we doing, Coach Slaughter?
Good, man. Summertime, getting ready to gear it up and play some football.
All right, absolutely. That's what we're gearing up for, football. Our Cover One coverage is coming back. And Ryan, you got a question for him?
Oh, yeah, Coach. I mean,
I'm sure we have a ton of questions.
First off, you were here in the studio last year as the defensive coordinator. Now you come in as the head football coach of Wall's program. How do you feel about that? Like how has this transition gotten you ready to get out there and take control of the program?
You know, I'm an older coach now. You know, I mean, I'm definitely one of the veterans in the profession. You know, I'm over 50 and I've done it, 27, 28 years, whatever it is. It's definitely, in my career, I've been a head coach, AD, for 16, 17 years. Obviously got to work under Coach Gow and a great coaching staff and those great teams I've been a part of. They had a ton of great teams, before I ever got there. But, I grew up with coaches. My dad was a head coach for 30-plus years. My uncle is Jim Slaughter, who was, a very successful coach and AD here in Angelo. So, I've grown up with it my whole life. And again, I've just I'm excited for the opportunity. It's a great program to be a part of. It's a great program and community to lead. And, I expect us to be very successful year after year going forward.
And, of course, we're coming off a year where Wall had another super successful season, won another district championship, made it several rounds deep into the playoffs when you ran up against that wall of Canadian again. Like, is that something that you've just been scratching your head at all offseason? I'm like, all right, what do we have to do to get to that next step?
No, for sure. It's we've had a very successful program. But we're 0 for 2 against Canadian, in that Region 1 championship game. And Canadian is losing some really good players, but I haven't told this message to the kids, but I will sell it to them all season. Canadian has won Region 1 9 of the last 10 years, so you can't tell me they didn't lose some great players on those teams. They went to the state championship 3 times. I believe I know they won 1, maybe 2. So those guys year after year, they're going to be there. We're going to have to raise our game up. And obviously you have to win those games to get there. But the goal is to win Region 1. Let's get a game away and see what happens.
All right, James. Well, let's get into the actual meat of it, though. Like you go ahead.
Let's just talk about the defensive guy. You talk about Canadian having great players. You just have to reload. You talk about some of the guys on your defense that are going to step up and be the leaders on that team.
We definitely, we're losing some good players like Wall always does to graduation. But we definitely, that pipeline I think is pretty wide open. We're returning some kids that have done it multiple years. Rylan White, has been a huge part of our defensive success. Ever since he was a freshman. He's going to be a senior now. We return our Mike linebacker, Ethan Mikowitz, who's just one of those tackling machine kids. Return all 4 secondary pieces. Since last year, we had to play district without Ryan Allen, who was a great player for us. So all those pieces that played district in the playoffs, we're all back. Garrett Guy will be one of our linebacker kids that you'll see a lot. But we return, a lot of really good players, and there's a lot of, I think, pretty good players behind them. I think one of Wall's advantages is you better perform and play at a high level because there's a kid right behind you, waiting for an opportunity.
Right.
Waiting for an opportunity to shine. And, I think we're going to have a pretty deep roster. We're going to have a pretty big roster. We have around 45 juniors and seniors, in our program, if they all come out. And sometimes there's a surprise or two. But, I think we'll have a very solid defensive squad once again.
All right. What about the offense? I know you had the offensive line. Just talk about your offense real quick.
We're turning the offense over to Rob Londerholm, who's been there in Wall for, I don't want to date him, but I think 15 years, and just a.
So you're calling him old, got it?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, they it's he's a very good offensive mind. And obviously if you have watched Wall play in the past and you come to a game this year, it's not going to look the same. Coach Guy and those guys had so much success with that flex bone offense, it's, you're trying to figure out where the ball's going, and, we're going to open it up a little bit and try to get the ball in space more. We have, again, just some really serious weapons on the perimeter. I was actually doing some math the other day, and we have about 400 touches between our quarterback and our fullback last year that's going to kind of be redistributed, we have some really explosive players coming up, Briggs Jones and, Reed Robertson, and just some of these kids that we think are going to do really good when they get the ball in space, and, that's the plan.
I remember talking to Coach White at the Angela Relays and watching Hagen Barbie run.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like,
that's what
that kid can move.
The names you start listing off, it's Barbie and Levi King and just so many of these kids that have had big time success on the track, or again whatever sport they're doing. But we just have really good weapons right now on the perimeter, and we're gonna see if we can get the ball out there to them.
Well, hey, those track kids pretty well. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, those kids I know for sure.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Coach Slaughter is the head track coach at Wall as well. But Coach Slaughter, speaking of track, speaking of just like the fact that we're in the off season right now, we're kind of in that third quarter, that tail end of the off season, considering y'all season ended in December last year. But when it comes to these smaller schools and doing summer workouts, or what does it take? Because I know some programs aren't installed like an off-season program at the bigger 6A schools like Central. How do you keep the kids motivated, showing up, doing sports like track? Because this track isn't glamorous, it's a lot of hard work, but there's nothing more impactful on a football season than if you run track during the off seasons.
Oh, for sure. No, and again, the previous staff, Coach Guy always did a really good job of selling our kids on running track. I definitely, I walk around all fall. What size are you? Medium, large? Just trying to badger them. And again, most of ours you don't have to badger too hard because kids love doing things they're successful at, and we have had good fortune of having a really strong program. Track is all about toughness, obviously speed, and our kids, have that and compete. And, just this time of year, you're hoping you see them keep coming rolling into the locker room and, rolling into your summer program. And most of ours do an amazing job of showing up. Again, we have some, that miss for certain times. They're at baseball tournaments and things. But, we just kind of constantly stay on them about if you're in town, we expect you to be there, and again, it's most of our kids do great. If you missed this morning, odds are you got a text from me, just hey, missed you, hope things are okay. Yeah. You just stay in touch with them. And like on the install nowadays, UIL's really helped you out. You can work out football, not in equipment or anything, but we can coach football, for an hour a day, a couple times a week, around your strength conditioning program. So like we did some football today, and you hope that's a reward if you show up, if there's enough of you here, after, we go out and, we do some football stuff. And again, like we did this morning. So it was, again, it's just great to see the kids. It's, you want to see them working their rear end off because, we have high expectations in Wall, and that's never going to change. And that's regardless of who's sitting in that top chair. The expectation is we play big time games and we play well in those games.
Is that something that you have to worry about, getting the kids to buy in, or are they pretty good at
I don't really think we definitely try to just mention it to them like, hey, this is when we're starting and we expect you to be there. And again, I think compliments to our parents. I think most of it, is parent driven. I think if you're at home asleep, I think your mom or dad would walk in and say, "Don't you have workout this morning?" And again, that's such a huge advantage that that we see our kids and they're up there working their rear ends off.
All right, Coach. Let's talk about the schedule real quick. Let's just talk about. I think you have Mason first, correct?
Yeah, we're at Mason first. Yep.
Then Brownwood, and then Jim Ned.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about. That seems like a gauntlet just starting off.
Oh no, it's going to be exciting and tough. My wife always gives me a hard time about. I've always been one of those guys that'll play anybody, and especially if I have a strong team, because I think it's how you push your team and you learn about your team. Where you want to get to. I hope we don't, but I would trade a December win for or I would trade a September win for a December win if it makes your football team better. And Mason, I don't know if they beat us 2 of the last 4 or 2 of the last 5, but they're a very, very good small school program. Those guys do a great job. Obviously, Brownwood Lions will be rolling into town. That'll be our first home game for us this year. It's one of those schedules I probably wouldn't put it together if I was 35. But again, I'm 50. And it's I want to see what our kids are about and how they respond. I know this morning I walked by some kids and I'm joking like, man, I don't know if we're going to tackle that Brownwood running back or not, and I hope we do. We're going to see. But I think our kids respond to stuff like that. But yeah, I mean Mason, Brownwood, Jim Ned, Monaghan, Sweetwater, Idalou, those teams went 58-17 last year. I think we're going to learn a lot about our football team, and I'm excited. I know the kids will be excited. It's we're used to playing in big games, and our expectation is regardless of opponent, we play well is the expectation.
I've spent some time up in Brownwood past few years, man, and that team is. I know they lost their defensive tackle, they lost their safety, they lost their quarterback to graduation, but they are still extremely talented.
Oh, dude, hey, I've been watching games on YouTube, and it's a brutal way to watch games because you get so used to huddle, you can just back up and watch one play. But you try to back up, and you backed up 10 plays or whatever. But no, great program. Complete respect for them, and it's one of those deals. We were trying to find a game, they were trying to find a game. Well, geographically, Wall's in a really tough spot. It's well, anyway, it was basically we were looking at driving to DFW and playing somebody, which just kills your Thursday night games. And Brown was making the same decisions. So me and Coach Burnett, had visited about it, and we were like, hey, let's do it. So we're gonna. I hope we give them a good game.
That's awesome, Coach. And moving into the actual district schedule now, the Walls district is going to look a little bit different this year. You lost a couple of teams that either moved up or moved down. I know Ballinger is one of them.
Yeah,
TLCA moved up. Who are tell everybody out there who some of the new faces are going to be in the district?
We're adding Merkel, Coahoma. Well, we got Merkel, Coahoma, Stanton, and Grape Creek. Obviously, that old district kind of, like I said, went up or down. And again, each year it's a new challenge. You're playing, new people, new schools, some new rivalries. Some of those schools, we've competed against in other sports at times. I do know just looking when that packet opens, Coahoma has been a very strong program. Those guys, and again, I see them on the track. We play them in basketball. It's an exciting challenge, and you're looking forward to be honest, our preseason is such a gauntlet. I wish the schedule worked out where you had a week together yourself, to get ready. But it's just when we lost. Compass Academy, they put that packet out, and then the packet, they busted that district up like 3-4 weeks, after it came out. It created a hole in your schedule. So we left week 9 open, and we filled week 6 because that's the only thing we could find. So we're about to play, 9 straight games, which not many people do anymore. We're hoping that bye in the end of that district, kind of get you ready, for a nice long playoff run. You hope, but you're excited when there's new rivalries and new schools to play, and like I said, our kids will be ready to go get after it.
All right, Coach. Well, just want to thank you again for coming on. Like, I know it's the middle of the summer and you got stuff to do, but we wanted to cover one off. And
Ryan actually had one more question.
Oh, right.
All right.
Go ahead.
We talked about it earlier. Month and a half ago, y'all graduated. We lost 2 of the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
The 4 horsemen, that's what I call the 4 just defensive players from Wall. We still got Bradley White. We still got Ethan Mikowitz. Who are the 2 other guys that are going to fill those spots?
Again, I think the advantage of Wall is it's not necessarily, I think when you lose some of those really good players, it's filled by 8 quality quality players around it. I mean, I do think our linebacking core is going to be, super strong. And again, the puzzle changes, over time, but you're going to have Brylan on one side. If we played tomorrow night, the other side's a kid named Lane Stansbury that y'all probably seen on the basketball court. He's a 6'4", 6'5", just good-looking high school athlete. All those linebackers, I think, are going to be strong. I mean, our secondary is going to be strong. I really think I don't know if we'll have 4 horsemen, because some weeks this one may not shine because those 2 happen to beat him to the ball. So, I really think it's going to be just quality guys all over the place, which is a great situation to coach.
All right, very political answer.
That's right. That's right.
It's kind of like picking your favorite kid. I get it.
Correct.
All right, that was my final question.
All right, now, Coach, I'm going to thank you for coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank your wife for us for allowing you to spend some time with us. But again, this has been the first episode of our annual off-season coaches interviews. Look forward to more coaches from around the Concho Valley coming on to our show in the future. And guys, football is coming. Like the countdown's officially started, and it's only a matter of time before we get to two-a-days.
Yeah, when does two-a-days start, by the way?
August 5th.
August 5th?
Yep.
All right.
August 5th.
It's right around the corner. It's going to be here before you know it.
6 weeks.
All right. So, again, I'm Ryan Chadwick. This is my co-host, James Bouligny, and special guest, Wall Hawks head coach, Craig Slaughter. Back to y'all.